Chapter 6, Gender Inequality. Learning Objectives. Different aspects of gender inequality. Factors responsible for gender inequality. Efforts made by the government for gender equality and upliftment of the status of women. Schooling and education today. Women's movement. In the previous lesson, you have learned about various types of inequalities prevalent in Indian society in spite of the fact that the Constitution of Democratic India has framed rules to get rid of all types of inequalities in the society. Treating boys and girls unequally in some societies or in some families is not only against the Constitution of India but also a social evil. When distinction is made between males and females and boys and girls are treated unequally, it is called gender inequality. Different aspects of gender inequality. Gender inequality is observed in various fields in our society. These are social field. In the social field, we observe that many families prefer a boy child rather than a girl child. They celebrate the birth of a boy child. Instances of female infanticide, killing of a girl child, and female feticide, killing of an unborn girl child, are heard every day. It is also seen in many families that differential treatment is given to boys and girls. Better food is given to boys as compared to girls. While boys are left free to play, girls are made to do household chores. More emphasis is given on the education of boys than the education of girls. There is a common feeling in some families, especially in the rural areas, that there is no use of spending money on the education of girls, as the girls have to do household chores even after marriage, so there is no need to give them higher education. It reflects in the literacy rate, which is higher among males than females. If we look at the mortality rate, it is higher in females than males. It shows that better healthcare facilities are provided to males than females. It reflects in the sex ratio of our country, which is in favor of males. It means that there are more males than females. Facts. Sex ratio is the number of females per 1000 males. It was 933 in 2001. Economic field. Gender inequality prevails in the economic field also. Generally, in private jobs, women are paid less than the males for the same type of work. For certain jobs which involve hard physical labor, men are preferred to women. Some occupations are seen to be more suitable for men than women. You will notice that very few women are employed in the police and army. The profession of nursing and teaching small children are however considered more suitable for women. Most of the bus drivers, train drivers and pilots are men. Many people believe that women make better nurses because they are more patient and gentle. This is linked to women's role in the family. In the same way, women are preferred to teach small children because they are more affectionate and loving than men. Factors responsible for gender inequality. Our society suffered and is still suffering from social evils. Gender inequality was one of the most disgraceful social evil. Women had low status in the society. They had been considered inferior to men. Some of these social evils like female infanticide, neglect of female education, child marriage, dowry system, no permission for widow remarriage, sati system, no right of women to inherit property, created gender inequality. Most of our social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar and many others give emphasis on women education and made the British government pass certain laws against these social evils. With the efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who founded the Brahmo Samaj, Lord William Bentinck passed a law to prohibit the sati system in 1829. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar encouraged widow remarriage. With his efforts, Governor General Dalhousie passed the Widow Remarriage Act in 1856. Swami Dayanand Saraswati founded Arya Samaj and laid stress on equality of both the sexes and advocated the education of women. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, a famous Muslim social reformer, advocated a ban on the parda system and polygamy prevalent mainly in the Muslim society. To some extent, the efforts of the religious and social reformers of the 19th century improved the condition of women. Educational institutions exclusively for women were opened. Polygamy was looked down upon and widow remarriage was accepted. The sati system and child marriage were legally banned. Female infanticide was also prohibited by law. But the mentality of many people considering women inferior to men did not change completely. For generations, the girls and women have suffered from gender prejudices and inequalities. Efforts made by the government for gender equality and upliftment of the status of women. When India became independent, gender inequality was recognized as a hindrance to progress and against democratic principles. So various steps were taken by the government for the empowerment of women. First, women were given the equal right to vote. When India became free, all women above the age of 21, later on reduced to 18, were given the right to vote like men. It was necessary to uphold the principles of democracy because democracy is based on equality of all citizens. Second, equal share in the ancestral property. Formerly, women had no share in the property of their parents. Only the sons enjoyed the right to inherit ancestral property. But now, the acts have been passed that the girls will have equal share in the parents' property. Third, declaring dowry as illegal. The government has now declared dowry system as illegal because it is humiliating for women. Now no one can force the other party to give dowry. Such persons can be prosecuted. Fourth, women's education. To impart education to girls, various schools and colleges exclusively for women have been opened. Consequently, women are gradually coming forward and have begun to occupy high positions in jobs and politics. Now you can see many women working in the police, army, and several other hard jobs, though their number is still much less than men in such jobs. As a result of the above efforts made by the reformers and the government, the status of women has considerably improved in the society. However, in spite of the best efforts of the social reformers and the government, many social evils, especially the dowry system, still persist in the society. More efforts are required to uproot this evil. First, girls should be made economically independent. Right to work should be guaranteed to women so that they are not a burden on their parents and husbands after marriage. Second, girls should be encouraged to get higher education. Only educated and financially independent girls can fight against this evil. Third, all the marriages should be registered and an undertaking from the parents of the bridegroom should be taken that they have not taken anything in the dowry. Fourth, intercaste or interreligious marriages should be encouraged. Fifth, mass media can play an important role by creating awareness among the people against this. Schooling and education today. Today, both boys and girls attend schools in large numbers. Yet the difference between the education of boys and girls still remains. According to the 1961 census, about 40% of all boys and men 7 years old or above were literate compared to just 15% of all girls and women. In the recent census of 2001, these figures have gone up to 76% for boys and men and 54% for girls and women. It means that the proportion of both men and women who are now able to read and write and have at least some amount of schooling has increased. but the percentage of male group is still higher than the female group. Facts. In India, the population census is taken after every 10 years, which counts the whole population of the country. It also gathers detailed information about the people living in India, their age, schooling, occupation, number of males and females, etc. Scheduled caste (SC) is the official term for Dalits. In Scheduled tribe (ST) is the official term for Adivasis. You will notice in the above table that SC and ST girls leave school at a rate that is higher than the category of all girls. This means that girls who are from Dalit and Adivasi backgrounds are less likely to remain in school. The 2001 census also found that Muslim girls are less likely than Dalit and Adivasi girls to complete primary school. While a Muslim girl is likely to stay in school for around 3 years, girls from other communities spend around 4 years in school. Women's movement. Women and girls now have the right to study and go to school. There are other spheres like legal reform, violence, and health where the situation of women and girls has improved. These changes have not happened automatically. Women individually and collectively have struggled to bring about these changes. This struggle is known as the women's movement. Individual women and women's organizations from different parts of the country are parts of the movement. Many men support the women's movement as well. Different strategies have been used to spread awareness to fight against discrimination and seek justice. Some of the strategies of this struggle are campaigning. Campaigns to fight discrimination and violence against women are an important part of the women's movement. Campaigning have also led to new laws being passed. A law was passed in 2006 to give women who face physical and mental violence within their homes, also called domestic violence, some legal protection. Similarly, efforts made by the women's movement led the Supreme Court to formulate guidelines in 1997 to protect women against sexual harassment at the workplace and within educational institutions. In the 1980s, women agitated against the dowry deaths. They spoke out against the failure to bring these cases to justice. They came to the streets, approached the courts. Ultimately, this became a public issue in the newspapers and society, and the dowry laws were changed to punish families who seek dowry, raising awareness. An important part of the women's movement is to raise public awareness on women's rights. Their message has been spread through street plays, songs, and public meetings. Protesting. The women's movement raises its voice when violations against women take place, or for example, when a law or policy act against their interests. Public rallies and demonstrations are a very powerful way of drawing attention to injustices. A report published by the World Bank suggests that the gender equality is the key to effective development in any society. It states that the societies which promote women's rights and increase their access to resources enjoy lower poverty rates, faster economic growth, and less corruption than countries that do not promote women's rights. Facts. 8 March is celebrated as International Women's Day all over the world. Words to know. Gender inequality. Treating men and women and boys and girls unequally. Female infanticide. Killing of girl child at the time of birth. Female feticide. Killing of girl child before birth. Literacy rate. The ratio of persons 7 years or above who can read and write in any language and have at least some amount of schooling to the total population. Mortality rate. The number of deaths per thousand persons in a year. Polygamy. Marriage with more than one living wife or husband. Mass media. Various means by which general public is informed such as radio, television, newspapers and cinema. Women's movement. The movement launched by women demanding their rights and fighting against the injustices done to them. Points to know. The distinction made between male and females in the various fields is called gender inequality. In India, generally the boys are preferred to girls. Female infanticide and female feticide indicate this inequality. In some families, boys are given better food, better education, and better health care than the girls. In some private jobs, women get less salary than the men doing the same kind of work. Many social and religious reformers such as Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, and Sir Syed Ahmad Khan tried to uplift the status of women by encouraging girls' education and removing social evils such as sati system, ban on widow remarriage, purdah system, child marriage, polygamy, etc. After independence, Indian government has taken various steps to uplift the status of women in the society. Every adult woman, like men, has the right to vote and can get share in the ancestral property. Dowry system is abolished by law and more educational institutions are opened exclusively for girls. If we look at the 2001 census, the literacy rate among women is still lower than men, though the literacy rate of men as well as women has increased substantially. Women individually and collectively have been struggling to demand their rights and fight against injustices done to them. These women's movements have brought several positive changes in the status of women. According to the World Bank report, gender equality is the key to effective development in any society.